West London is playing host to 32 Counter-Strike contenders over 15 days as teams from all across the world descend on Great Britain in search of glory and one of 8 highly coveted qualifying spots in the FACEIT London Major. It's day 3 of the Americas Minor, and now the real war of attrition begins. Swell Patrol, NTC, Fury and Dignitas are on the long journey home, but 4 teams still remain from across the Atlantic in Complexity, eUnited, Rogue and NRG, and only 2 teams can return to London in September. Hello, I'm Frankie Ward. I'm joined by a Vendetta and a Pimp. How are you guys?
We're good.
You
We're
good?
very good, yeah.
I'm feeling a little bit jealous. I don't know if you guys have just tuned in. You sadly missed the image of Parla showing Freya around the Players' Lounge.
It wasn't just showing the Players' Lounge, to put it this way. Like, that shirt was getting dangerously low cut.
He was showing off a little bit of mivage, man cleavage. I like to say mivage because it sounds a little bit more judgy.
Juicy.
Juicy. Do you ever show your mivage
Now I'm going the other way around right here.
Yeah, that's like prep boy right there.
We're firmly buttoned.
Yeah.
You're the
Exactly.
most racy we get on the
Yeah,
Vendetta.
no, I mean, we've got guidelines to follow. I don't know what kind of, guidance Paul has been given, but I don't think he's following it.
Well, let's, guidance aside, if you'd like to talk to us about the serious things that are happening today, namely 2 very important best of 3s, you can let us know what you think using the hashtag FACEITMinor. And of course, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, youtube.com/FACEIT. We've got so much Counter-Strike coming from FACEIT all the way up to September, and you don't want to miss a moment. And the best way to not miss a moment is, of course, by subscribing. Now, let's take a look at the Group A bracket to remind ourselves of what went down on Saturday, as it was such a long time ago. There we go, NRG Esports easily taking down Swell Patrol, landing themselves in the upper bracket final. They beat eUnited to take that spot in today's qualifiers. And then we have in Group B, we have Complexity taking on Furia, winning. They then had to fight against Team Furia. No, they didn't. That was Team Dignitas. They had to fight against Dignitas to take their place in the qualifiers. Today, there we go. There was so much drama, guys. I was trying to remember because I have facts about who beat who on what map, but I don't know if you guys are interested. Obviously, you've got HLTV for that. No surprises, though, really, boys, in terms of who has qualified for today's playoffs.
No, it is more or less the teams we expected. I guess maybe in a bit of a different fashion. I think we both had Complexity as our tiny favorite, at least in Group B, maybe. But Rogue definitely deserved that group win. That also means that they avoid playing Energy today, which is pretty nice. I was also really impressed by eUnited. I was expecting a little bit more out of NTC. They continue to let us down. But yeah, eUnited definitely earned their spot as well.
I think we all expected more from NTC. I think it's quite a, I wouldn't use the word disaster, but it's a big disappointment for them not to even make the playoff here. They should be one of those teams that should drive through and cruise through a qualifier like this one, but not even making the playoff bracket must be a big fist in the stomach right there.
I feel like, Jacob, we've been working on your vocab for the past few days. In
I've
the
been
sense
nice,
that, yeah, a couple of days ago, you would have said it was a disaster, and now you're like, no, it wasn't a disaster, it was disappointing.
It's electroshock therapy that's working out.
It is. I am evil. That's what I bring to esports, is just an electroshock device and a baton.
Yeah.
But you'll never see those because I'm very lovely when I'm on stage. It's all an act, though. It's all an act. Now, so we've got 4 teams playing in 2 best of 3s today, and that's going to decide who will be playing in the upper bracket final, and then who has to fight it out to maintain their place in the competition. So Rogue will be going up against eUnited. Rogue qualified at the top of Group B. NRG Esports, they qualified at the top of Group A, so they will be playing Complexity. I'm wondering what's going to happen. I've got some predictions, but I know we should probably save those for later, because first up we've got eUnited versus Rogue, and we should have a chat about those 2 teams. eUnited, tendency to play as individuals. Do you think they can pull it together as a team today and bring out that win, Vendetta?
Well, I've been doubting eUnited, I guess, leading up to this point. To be fair, they've had a great ECS season as well. They've showed that they've steadily made improvements, and even if they do have a fairly individually heavy way of playing, it's still working out for them. They're getting W's and so on. But with that said, I do think that Rogue is the more secure card, at least to put your bank on, pretty much. They've again had the same kind of trajectory as the United in terms of steadily making progress, but I think there's more to fall back on in the case where if your individuals aren't necessarily firing on all cylinders, then you do have some team play aspects. You have more strategies to bounce back off of, and you have much more experience on that team as well.
Well, we'll have a bit more of a discussion about the teams in a moment, because we should actually probably meet those teams and find out a bit more about them.
Kicking off the first game of the day are Rogue and eUnited. After a dominant performance in Group B, Rogue make it through to the first upper bracket semi-final. After a close game against Complexity, Cadian proved his form, taking Inferno by storm and securing the win 16-13.
We should make it through the minor. We should make it to the major qualifier, and using all the experiences in the last couple of weeks, I think that'll give us upper hand against most of the teams here.
eUnited also proved their dominance in Group A, with a swift 2-0 against NTC to secure their spot in the first upper bracket semi-final. Moose and Zappa ran rampant on train, taking the Brazilians down 16-4, but will it be enough to secure victory against fellow North Americans Rogue?
But I think if we come confident, we play our game, and we're just we do our prep work, that we should be able to place top 2.
And Freya is now standing by with the winners of Group B. It's Rogue.
That's right, Frankie. I'm here with Cadian from Rogue. So you guys came out of yesterday with 2 wins against Dignitas and Complexity. What enabled this strong performance?
Great team play, individual skill, good atmosphere, and the composure to, even though we were behind, not get stressed out or start panicking or anything. So, yeah.
So you guys are now coming up against eUnited in a best of 3. How have you been preparing for this?
The usual things. Matt, our coach, has been watching a little bit of them, and I have been watching a little bit of their demos to see what their tendencies are. How do they like to execute? What are their small things in the defaults that we can make a play off? So those kind of small things. But other than that, we've been trying to focus on ourselves. The veto went exactly as predicted, so we knew what was coming.
So you guys, when you've last 3 times you've faced eUnited, you've actually beaten them. Does this give you? Does this give you confidence coming into this, or are you not focusing on that?
I mean, today is a new day. Don't tell them, but today is a new day, so anything can happen. But obviously, us having a good history against them is only going to give us confidence. And I'm sure that if they get a rough start, it's going to be rough for them to bounce back.
Cool. Thank you so much, Cadian, and good luck for your next game. We're going to. Oh, sorry. We're going to throw back to Frankie on the desk.
Cadian, could you mind not beating up our interviewer, please? I am coming for you, mate. I feel very protective over Freya, as I'm sure all of Twitch now. Now, Jacob used to play with Cadian for 2 years, in fact.
Yeah, it's been a teammate of mine for quite some time, on and off. A guy that didn't really break into the Tier 1 scene in Denmark at any point. I played with him on a few occasions where he was with me on one of the best teams in Denmark, but he was also the guy being left out quite a lot. So he has an incredible amount of skill, and he has a good attitude towards getting better in Counter-Strike, but he has some struggles of beating into the Tier 1 scene in Denmark and actually getting to play on the best teams. We have seen him, though, being a stand-in for Heroic, doing a pretty good job, and now he's in Rogue. All of a sudden, he's the in-game leader, and he's trying to form this team to his own team, basically, and making it work. So I think he's adding something to his testimony right now, and that is a great progress to see from Cadian, because as said, it is a guy that's been around for forever, and he hasn't really broken through yet, but it feels like it's slowly coming now.
Vendetta, why do you think he hasn't broken through? I
think, well, first off, breaking into it sounds like he's not living up to something when you say he's not able to break into the Tier 1 in Denmark, but then you have to consider the fact that Denmark probably has the best amount of Counter-Strike players in the world. So that's a really, really, really tough thing to do. It's insane how many good players that come from that country. And I guess, it's just the fact that, you'll find one player who's slightly better at you, at one more thing than, a little bit more versatile in what you're doing. And I think that's the kind of cool, evolution of Cadian as a player now, the fact that he's taking on in-game leading as well. And I think he's had so much experience from the previous teams he's had in Denmark that he's actually he's had the opportunity to play with so many good in-game leaders from that country that he's actually, using that to become a more complete player nowadays. So who knows, if he were to go back to Europe, if it doesn't work out with Rogue, maybe he'll get another chance in a top team in Denmark.
Well, let's talk about Rogue as a whole unit then. They qualified at the top of their group yesterday. Were you surprised to see them there? Do you think they've got a chance against eUnited?
I think they're the favorites against eUnited, and I think we're both a little bit surprised they were able to beat Complexity in that group. But then again, Rogue is a team that has that high level of peak level. We see a guy on the screen right now. Hiko is a legend within the game, has been playing at many majors before, so he's experienced as well. They bought Sek from Misfits when that team went down, and that's a star player basically in NA that all of a sudden is playing in Rogue. Ricky as well, a guy that performed in Renegades for unknown reasons, weren't found good enough or weren't found valuable enough for Renegades anymore, and now he's finding himself in Rogue. So it's sort of like the leftovers of some semi-star players in NA, forming a team together now with Cadian as the in-game leader, experience in Hiko, and then some young guys as well. So they have every single ingredient in order to make it a success, and I do believe that we saw that yesterday, and we see potential for them all the time, and it's just a matter of time before they break into the what I would call like tier 2, tier 1 scene in NA Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I know what's really cool for us is because this is one of the teams we were able to follow through most of the online leagues and so on, and we often talk about the same kind of players. You know, it's Cadian, it's Hiko, it's and so on and so on. And one of the guys who kind of gets left out in that discussion is Vice, but you know, in the first couple of games that they've had here at this event, Vice has been doing extremely well for himself. Say the one, I guess, player we expect to do a whole lot more is Sick. He's probably been the only one who's been somewhat quiet up till this point. But again, it's best of 3, still lots of time to get into the thick of things. But if Rogue are able to win their group without necessarily having, you know, on paper one of their strongest players actually being activated, you have a lot more to play off of. So I think that's a great sign for Rogue.
eUnited then, their opponents, they beat NTC twice to get through to today's competition. And we were a little bit surprised at that at first, but now we're kind of rooting for them.
I mean, eUnited are also showing potential. They said it themselves, they play a little bit more individual style. I will say, though, when looking at them, it doesn't seem like they play too much of the individuals. I think they have some solid fundamentals as well to fall back on, so that's obviously a great thing. They have some great players as well. Dapper is a guy who's been stepping up this tournament as well, and in general, all of the players have been doing a good job. On the other hand, you know, they came off a group where NTC was in it. Obviously, a heavy favorite to win that matchup, but the level NTC showed at this event was nowhere near good enough in order to qualify for the championship bracket. So I do feel May could come off a little bit of a cheap background that eUnited is right here, right now, because NTC were not living up to the expectations.
Yeah, I think that's the case. Like, even if you put NTC in Group B, I don't think they'll make it out of that group with the way they were playing. They would have gotten beaten by both Rogue and Complexity.
So Fury as well.
So yeah, so if you look at it and you think to yourself like, well, eUnited, that's a big scout, that's a big name to take down. Like, yeah, sure, it's still a big name to take down because of the 5 players on that side, but what they actually delivered, not as impressive. So I think they're going to go up against a way harder tasks today versus Rogue.
So is it more relevant really to look at their performance against NRG? And of course they lost on Overpass.
I'm not really sure if you can take too much into it as well versus NRG, simply because NRG are so good on Overpass that a lot of teams struggle. So like even tier 1 teams lose to NRG on Overpass. You know, that duo of Fugly and Cirque on that A-bomb side just shuts down such a big part of the map that you're not really allowed to do a whole lot. So I don't think you can blame eUnited for not doing better or not getting closer in a sense. And I don't think they're going to run into any sort of similar issues if they play Overpass versus Rogue, because Rogue doesn't have those kind of players.
Well, let's go into the vetoes then. First up, Dust 2 banned by eUnited.
Yeah, again, it's one of the maps that they don't really play. It's not a ban that they make because Rogue aren't necessarily exceptional on Dust 2, but they've showed themselves that they can't play it and they're not afraid to leave it in the pool. Cadian talking about how he felt like Dignitas made a bit of a mistake when they actually opted to go for Dust 2 in that scenario. Cash being banned out, I guess not one of the more popular maps in Rogue's map pool, and they've been very fluent about their bans throughout this tournament so far. So they really just seem to be picking up, or banning really for their opponent in terms of what their strengths are. They're not really worried about their own weaknesses. Maybe because they feel they don't have that many.
Maybe because they feel they don't have many, and it just gives them such a strong advantage in the veto process. There's not a lot of teams who's able to play 7 maps and constantly picking away their strong maps from other teams. Now we see Train and Overpass being picked right here. 2 maps that should be fun to watch because they're both heavily CT-sided.
Yeah, and I think also Frankie is just jumping with joy at this point.
I totally am.
Right before we started, she was talking about, oh, maybe we could see something that's not Mirage, Inferno, and Cash. And so far, so good. I'm actually really excited to see this. And again, you mentioned, well, we just talked about how we saw eUnited play Overpass versus Energy. I think they're going to have more of a chance here versus Rogue, but it could still be really, really tough.
And of course, we got Inferno as the third.
But I think that's fine as a bit of a classic way to end it off. Even playing field, I guess regardless what you would have had between Mirage and Inferno as a third map, that's still something both teams can do well on.
Definitely.
I will forgive them for that.
It's
Inferno,
okay, right?
Because obviously no one actually picked it, and we've got Overpass and Train, and I am very, very happy indeed. As soon as Dust 2 was banned, I love Dust 2, but we saw so much of it yesterday that as soon as it was banned, I was like, right, it's on, boys, it's on. So, predictions then, given that we know what the maps are now, Jacob.
I think both Train and Overpass are two maps where you have to be strategically and tactically strong in order to gain a lot of T rounds. And I think Rogue has that upper edge with the way they play and with the way Cadian sort of like form their identity with this team. So giving the maps, I would say Rogue have a pretty good chance. Even if going into Inferno, Rogue has shown time and time again they're capable of producing great results. So if it gets to a third map, Rogue are the favorites, but I do think it's going to be a 2-0 for Rogue.
Okay.
Yeah, I would lean the same way. Even though we saw eUnited obviously just absolutely stomp NTC on Train, they were given a lot of freedom that they won't get versus a team like Rogue. If Rogue have done their homework, so I'm actually leaning towards a 2-0 for Rogue.
I'm kind of thinking that Rogue are now the second strongest team left in this competition. So I am also going to say 2-0 to Rogue. But let's see what happens. It's over to our casters, Crockett and Tumps, for our first map on Train.
What does he call us?
Crockett and Chomps?
What does that mean?
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Is that from television? Crockett. Miami Vice.
What's that?
I don't know. Well, I know what it is. It's a show, isn't it? I have, but I don't watch. I don't have a TV, so I don't watch TV. So I wish I could connect with you, Frankie, but I can't, man. I can't. On this one, I can't. I don't have a TV. What can I say? What I do have though is plenty of monitors with which to watch this game. We've got 3 monitors. We've got the laptop going on here. We've got our own little Observatron, if you will. It's the word I've just made up. I like that word. It's like wrestling had a Titantron back in the good days of WWE.
Reminds me of Fallout. In Fallout, everything's a Tron for some reason.
For example?
Observatron.
Well, that's not from Fallout, is it? Give me a Fallout example.
I don't know. It just made me think of. I can't think.
Bloody hell, Dan.
Can't think of one. Just made me think of that though.
eUnited will be starting on the T side of Train. Rogue will have Sick on the Diffuse and Smoke. Will we see a gimmick Diffuse during this? I think Train is one of the harder ones to do the DAP special, as I think it can reasonably be called at this point. 4 players in the A site for the CTs. So far, so good. That smoke grenade around the E-box has really caused a problem for eUnited. And Ace is alone, 1 versus 4. Ace!
He's in a bit of a pickle, James. Not really too much to work with. Managed to get an extra kill, but the bomb is surrounded. Ooh. Wow. Okay. There's actually a chance. There's so much time left too. He can try to juke these players. Can see him running around trying to... I don't know if there would have been anyone reasonably close enough to have heard that for him to try to fake with footsteps, but he is waiting regardless. It's not over just yet. With a 1v4. Now the CTs are spreading out a little bit. They do know that the bomb is dropped in front of the Train.
No one has collected the kit just yet. However, the bomb is close enough to the A site that a B is very unlikely. I say very. There will be about 30 seconds left by the time Ace has the bomb. Although it seems he is prioritizing finding a frag, and that would be huge for him, but they're not going to give that up. They're going to allow him to plant the bomb and play for the win of the round. That's what they will focus on. And indeed, he's heading towards the B bomb site. He's seen no one towards A, but he is untrusting. The Vice will get the sound cue. Hika rotating from the main position. Does Vice have an angle? He does. 1 tap salad.
That's pretty tough, isn't it? It's very hard to actually... it's very, very hard to understand where the hell your opponents can be there. So it's kind of cool. There's loads of different ways the CTs could have approached that, but I like how it turned out. I don't think that would have been the go-to solution for a lot of people. I think a lot of teams would have sort of just stuck, taken nice positions around the bomb, but that's a creative way to do it. So I like it, and Rogue will start off well thanks to that. There are some deagles out here for eUnited to try to get some picks. Very good on those long ranges. See many a round like this work out for the T's on Train. But it all starts with that first eagle shot. Rogue playing it very cautiously, making it very difficult for eUnited to find those picks. And Hiko will eliminate Ace, and that's going to encourage eUnited to start attempting something else. We see Ali's been worked on here, but position for Vice.
Well, a good position will not yield a kill. Cadian can hold things down. Ricket's got his back from the elevated position of Heaven. Dapper's got the bomb. We are below the minute mark for these two pistoling players who look to engage in more damage. Very patient from Rogue. Sick has not overextended. He is just keeping an eye on B, from the middle of B, but there is the bomb. 30 seconds now, and Relics must die. He must expire in this round. Otherwise, he will have no money taken into the next round, and there he goes. He has indeed expired. Like a carton drink at the back of the shelf. I have never been to Miami, have you?
Didn't we both go there? To the airport, at least.
I wouldn't call going to an airport going to Miami. If someone says to you, have you been to Miami? And you say, yes, I've been to the airport, you're an idiot. I think it's fair to say. So no, Dan, neither of us have been to Miami. Let's just go with that.
Okay.
We have connected to Caribbean waters. But that isn't really going to Miami.
Caribbean? No.
No, Dan. Caribbean.
Okay. Well, I like how we're seeing some great discipline from Rogue. So far, it's been something...
Oh, look at those stickers. They got unicorns.
That's very notable about the way that they are approaching the game. And that's really cool to see that emphasis, because we see them all reacting the same way to certain situations. You just see like this collective response as though they are of one mind. And like, for example, that round with the Eagles, that they waited it out in really passive positions. They played really safe. And like, no one got hungry for frags. They just played it correctly, which is really, really encouraging. But now the AKs are out, so we should likely see a change of pace. eUnited have been very slow in these last 3 rounds. Very slow. Cannot emphasize this enough. But now it's time for a change of pace, I think.
Pop flash. The AKs are out for the T side. Sick needs to get away from his position. Cadian Molotov'd off from the peak, trying to use a distraction of his teammate up close. Not really working out at all. Chooses to peek through the flames. But it won't work out for him. Sick. He has a peek. He gets the AWP as well, but can he get into a good position? Shooting Dapper in the face, but there's no support. Sick needs no support. Now Vice's turn to hold things down. Ricky will be taken down in Pop Dog, but he's got info. Can Vice capitalize on that info? Yes, he can. 3 people survive for Rogue. They take an AK at least. They hold on to the AWP. Great, very important play from Sick.
Yeah.
He was exposed. He had to deliver the shot both times, and he did. 4-0 Rogue.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was quite the clutch. So many people are going to die there, and then you go up the bomb sides. There's a lot of opportunity for eUnited to work with. Never had to consider that, thanks to Sick. Rogue on that 4-0. The Eagles back out for eUnited. Last time they did this, they were very slow, but Dazzle finds a quick kill in Pop Dog. That'll be annoying for Rogue. Probably cause them to tighten up even more around the A side. They're just playing B very passively. I wonder how eUnited will read this. It is a pretty common rotation to have 3 on A and just leave the 1 man on B in a situation where the CTs have 4 players and lose a man early. But the eUnited holding, looking for a push. Setting up some smokes outside. Bomb is here as well. Are they going to go inner? That would be pretty cool to see. They're going to try to draw the players back towards A with the grenades, perhaps.
They've got 3 smoke grenades, though. So, well, Ace is holding his smoke grenade outside main, which will be going towards A, maybe towards connector. And the other 2, well, let's see what they have in mind. With 4 players now outside B, I think we know what is coming. How good will Dapper's flashbang be? Pop flash on the low ground. High still being covered by AWP of Cadian. He will spread. Will Sick. He doesn't have enough left to take out Moose, who has to go for the gauntlet run to try and plant the bomb, but he won't do it because Cadian says no. 2 frags for Cadian in that round. 5-0 for Rogue. A fantastic start for them, but again, massive credit to Sick, because that really allows Rogue to have a great start to train.
Couldn't ask for a better one. He hops out onto Ace now, though, and he's been a bit annoying, for his opponents at least. Some of the matches that we have seen, looking to get the opening pick for his team. Cadian bringing the orb towards Ali. That could be a nice mix-up here. He's been all over the place so far. We've seen him around B. Will he get a good peek there? What's the play like? Oh, this is not great for Cadian. His teammate will smoke it off. Cadian never was... I don't think Cadian's position was ever revealed.
Ooh, tidy.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, you never know, right?
Yeah, so I wonder if it hits someone in the chest, you might hear something, get an indication. And it's interesting because if he has the AWP there, does he need to use the HE grenade? I would say only if he is uncertain if he'll actually see them through the smoke. Because sometimes you can't see them, they can see you, and that can be a problem. No answer from Relics just yet, and the CT's reposition. Riquet was taken down earlier. 50 seconds on the clock, and Six seems to have detected something towards the B bomb site. Cadian and Vice rotating, but it seems to be a loud rotation because Relics has gone straight through the smoke on Ivy.
It does seem like they didn't realize that there was a second player there.
But look at Hiko as well. He's flanking at the same time towards B, so Rogue have the information. However, Relics could really be the knife in the back here.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good at the moment. That's a very dead Cadian, but I was wondering if he would take his time with that one, but instantly kills Cadian. Sick will defend in the front, and now Hiko's flank is activated. He finds the bomber. Bomb will be recollected in time. Down the slope it goes, but Sick can turn the corner, but Vice has the shots instead. He's traded out. It's madness. And it's just Dapper left now for eUnited as he looks to reclaim the bomb, but there's time problems as well here. He has to go for the plant. He's allowed to do so, but he will be taken out, and the round will be won for Rogue. 6-0. That was a fun one with all the flanks.
Yes, that was quite interesting. I think that Relics, if there was more time on the clock, then I think he looks for a second kill and probably gets the player who's on the sidewalk position. But because there was about 20 seconds left on the clock, I think the timing was with his team to push into the site. So he takes out Cadian almost immediately. 6-0 for Rogue. Not the start eUnited wanted, but they have got a reasonable amount of frags in these previous rounds. So at least there is that. They are keeping the CT economy honest for the time being. 4 plays starting in B, and Vice has gone for a push. More flashes. They will hear the gunfire, these Ts. Another pop flash, and Vice is going for it once again, but he can't go close enough, fast enough. Relics goes beyond him and shoots him in the face.
Cadian could do a lot of damage here. They are interested in challenging. Looks like he's going to back away, though. That's good. I think he would have not had too many options if he just stays forwards.
Is the communication there that someone is to the right-hand side? I don't know if Vice could see anything when he was shot.
I think so, because they tried to molly Relics, and Relics immediately smoked himself. So they must know that he's there. Now they definitely, Cadian will definitely realize.
The smoke on the left allows him to peek towards the right, but as that smoke dissipates, his position is not so safe. And this has wasted a lot of time. Yes, Rogue have lost a player, but eUnited have had to spend a lot of time around this IV position. They're only just moving players away now. They do have position, though, around the B bomb site, so they could choose to execute into A, for example, although there seems to be a question mark around the pop dog position. When with 30 seconds on the clock, that might be a problem.
Oh, nice cover from Cadian. Riquet will survive for the time being. His position will be noted. Cadian does his job as well, takes down the lurker towards Ali. They have not a need to worry about Ali anymore. Dazzle will open things up a bit, but the time is a big problem. 15 seconds to go. Dazzle, last man standing, and he will be eliminated. Very nice hold from Rogue. As you mentioned, you know, they lost a player, but they did kill a lot of time. They burned a lot of utility from eUnited. And then it was a bit of a desperation rush against... It was a rush against the time more than it was against Rogue. So 7-0, the winning streak continues. If
they were able to take Pop Dog earlier, it would have compromised the positions in which Rogue could hold around main. You saw there were some people in aggressive angles, but for crossfires and trade frags and so on, maybe they would have had to have been further back. I don't know, but 7-0 to Rogue. And indeed, they did entertain quite well. Had the cocktail sausages out on Ivy. And many were consumed. Left eUnited with a food baby, and they were in no position to move into the A sides. Now, they could force buy in this round. It wouldn't really be the best idea, just based on the damage they have done, but they'd have a much better time of things on the next round, so they've gone for the wise decision. They have their heads about them, their wits about them. That's one of the great things to watch here. eUnited, definitely a unit as opposed to 5 individual players, going for a shock rush into the A bomb site, but with 4 players left, and Hiko just waiting. Ooh, he's got players to his left and his right, but he has neutralized most of the danger, and Vice will get the final frag there onto Moose. 8-0, that's a money-making round for Rogue, after some expensive ones, which will most certainly help for the remainder of this half.
Yeah, it's still not too scary for eUnited. I think, when it gets to 10-0, it starts to get really questionable. They have enough money in the bank here that after 4-buy, that even if they don't get a bomb down, they still can have a decent enough buy eUnited in the following round. So this will be pushed back and away. And eUnited just spreading out, beginning to press towards Cadian's position. Cadian waiting. And not going to go deeper than this, I don't think. He knows how the angles work. And there it is. eUnited start to push further, using the utility to push Cadian away. He fired a shot too, so they know that he is near B, or in and around B. And Rogue, they've got 3 towards the Olofmeister position, and Hell, interestingly.
They've got nobody watching PopDog, however, but they may be relying on eUnited not pursuing it, because it is quite a problem for Tees to make a play in that direction, and you can see the aggression now. Rikke asking questions around main and being given no answers by eUnited, although maybe the lack of answer is an answer in itself, but are there plays towards Ivy? That is a question. 2 of the 5 players for Rogue in the B bomb site, and Rikke needs to peek down Ivy, and once he sees no one was there, maybe the rotation will come in, but Cadian is doing a job on his own. Preemptive Molotov to stop the bomb plant going down. That buys time for the rotation from his teammates, some crash peeking going on, but only Dapper remains, and he will quickly be traded as well. Is there time to rescue the AWP, save some extra money? Yes! 9-0 for Rogue.
Great round from Cadian. That's that first shot was very, very just all reactions. I don't think he expected someone to be there. It kind of looked like he was like, okay, I'm just going to check this. Oh my god, there's 2 players there. And he managed to get a couple very fast kills. Really well done. 9-0 now, eUnited. Struggling. They're not doing anything, I would say, that's, fundamentally wrong. I think Rogue are just really hitting their shots at the moment, playing some good aggressive Counter-Strike. We saw the push from Rikke there. We see, in times where Rogue don't want to give Ali up for free, they find ways to press it, to fight against it. Rogue are giving a good bit of resistance to eUnited, no matter what eUnited choose to do. Deep smoke there on Ali. That does allow Tees to move up Ali. But how many?
It's nice because it's forcing Vice to exhaust his utility. He's thrown a Molotov, he's thrown a flashbang, he's behind the smoke, he does not know what is going on over there. Although no one's really rotating. Rogue they're changing their structure each round. Hiko and Rikke around connector now. Cadian was in B, but he's rotating to old bomb at the moment. 3 smokes around the A bomb site, and now we're seeing the split from eUnited. Hiko will allow his teammates to run distraction, and he'll try to capitalize, but Relics is ready for it. Dazzle for support. Molotov going towards the heaven position, but Cadian looking to send these players to hell. Falling back now as the bomb gets planted. Rikke will feel vulnerable, trying to position as best he can. Teammates coming in from Pop, looks like will they get there fast enough? Ace around the site, close quarters with that CZ. But it's Relics to pop Ricke's head off. Trades continue, 2-on-2 now. Cadian spinning around, but can't find the right angle in time. Vice will take Ace out. Where is Moose? He can definitely 1v2 this. Cadian is in a lot of trouble. Vice takes it in the face, and Cadian will be ready for the frag. 10-0 for Rogue.
If you consider how close Cadian was to dying to the guy with the CZ too, And he's in position to clutch it there. It was also really interesting too. I like how Ricky was playing around the bomb train, because Ricky was, I think you can see he was really waiting before he didn't want to take a fight. He wanted his teammate to come out from alley and take a wide peek before he would take a fight. So, he was trying to play that chaotic situation very smart. And I think generally from Rogue, we're seeing smart play in the chaos, and that's why they're getting this scoreline 10-0. They're earning it, and of course it's starting to get pretty bad for United. That is for sure. Not many chances now to get a respectable scoreline. Now, fast round as a response. Can they make this work? Aces push all the way to hell straight away. Can be very strong. His teammates are with him as well.
They must know he's there, surely, because Hiko's pretty close and he touched the Molotov just a little bit. Either way, frags are going the way of eUnited. Never mind that, it's 1 versus 4. And now Dapper will make it 3 for the CT side. You see the rotation on the X-ray. Cadian slowly walking to main. If Dapper goes to Pop Dog, surely he will be spotted by one of these CTs. Now Dapper could be here, it could be Olofmeister position. They know where he is now. Cadian continues to get into position. He will be a good 5 to 10 seconds. Double peek from the CTs, and that is round number 11. 11 unanswered rounds for Rogue.
Yeah, this is really fun to watch them just play with such confidence and to strike true as they are in their fights. It is definitely a bit troubling for United on the flip side of things, but for me, a lot of this is about discovering where teams are at, and the major to every team is the most important tournament. So that's where it's the make or break moment for every team, and it's a great display of where a team is. And I've seen a lot of improvement from Rogue. Pistols again for United as they half bite. Of course, on that max loss bonus. All is quiet as Rogue once again. Their discipline has been tested a few times and it has yet to waver. In rounds such as this one. It's an annoying smoke. Well, they walk through it. Looks like they are considering it. They have grenades of their own that they can throw forward. That smoke could actually provide them some cover to do so. Moose covering the push here. Nice 1D onto Ricky. That's a gun for him. But can his teammates have the same success?
Hasn't pulled rotation just yet. Sick and Hiko remain in the B bomb side. They see the grenade streaming. That HG could be beautiful, and it is. Leaving Ace with 10 HP. And they line up for Sick. Be careful. Ooh, Ace eats another grenade, and that's no bomb plant now. Not yet anyway. Moose 1 versus 3. He has Kevlar. This could be doable for him. Looking for an engagement from the connector position. The double peek again from the CTs. The coordination on these peaks from the counter-terrorist side are certainly helping this 12-0 situation.
Yeah, I have actually been noticing, especially in the A defenses from Rogue, that the players seem like very aware of, okay, when I'm getting attacked here, which spot should I move into because my teammate can cover that area? And it doesn't seem like anyone's falling over each other, because sometimes on the A defenses, that's kind of what it's about. It's about how well versed the team is in understanding, like, okay, where are all my teammates? How are they going to react? What is actually covered for me? What do I not have to worry about? And what is my job here? And they seem like very dialed in with that. So, and that's not easy to do on the train, the A yard on train. So, good sign for Rogue on that 12-0 at the moment. United yet with a... We haven't really seen too many close rounds, I don't think. There's been a couple. The only one I can really recall is where Cadian was left with 10 HP in a 1v1 with the AWP on A. But other than that, Rogue have been just winning pretty convincingly.
Rogue going full hood rat on train. 3 rounds remain in the first half. Relics and Moose towards the IV position. Vice facing the wall to avoid any potential flashbangs. There is the rudimentary one. He's ready, or is he? Double pick surely coming in, but Cadian will get the nice swipe. He knows Relics is to the right-hand side, and he's going for it with a pistol. Catches him with a grenade in his hand. Beautiful play from Cadian. He knew what was coming, but there's more action around the site. We see Ace activating around the main position. 2 versus 2 now as Cadian walks into the reticle.
Traded out. And Dapper will seize the opportunity to move through onto B. Obviously, so much ruckus towards that A site that he knows that this is a pretty safe play, and he's got a very good vantage point. He's checking absolutely everything. Oh, that may be his demise, though. Trying to check everything. Sort of gambling a bit because Sit comes in, and that's a 2v1. Ace has to go for it. He spotted one player. I think he was spotted as well, and Tony was. Flash over the top. Both players for the CTs have AKs. Ace on the AWP. Needs the 1v1s. I think he heard, or he has an inkling as to the position of the player that is close, but didn't realize he went up the ladder. Hiko gets it done. 13 rounds now for Rogue. Still 0 for United.
I think it was a great example of game sense from Cadian on the IV position. When the play goes towards the right-hand side, he expects the player to be deploying grenades, maybe to flash to get over to the other side or something along those lines. So he just runs at him with the pistol because it's very unlikely the guy's going to be holding his gun out, and he's right. That is a huge frag, and it's a great example for people at home on how important game sense can be. That is not an easy shot to hit.
No, it's not. It's absolutely not. He's feeling it though, James. He's feeling it right now. He is in the zone. And that's 4 players left now for eUnited. They have no control of anything on the map, and they have only a smoke and a flash now. So this has not gone well. The prognosis is not looking good right now for United in this round, and in this map of Train, of course. They're going to have to just burst and hit shots. That's never a good position to be in. And they're going to be coming from the Pop Dog and T-Main, so it should be pretty easy here for Rogue to defend this. Rogue heavily favored to win this round.
This map is the pick of eUnited. I think it's fair to say that it has not gone their way so far.
Yeah, maybe not anymore, James. Never again.
Sick has seen that no one is towards the B bomb site. Cadian is starting to rotate, but can he get there in time because the push is coming in almost asynchronously? That's a big word. Here we go, old bomb Train. Doesn't really jump into the angle, but he is feeling himself, isn't he? Ace has to move from this position before that smoke disappears because his legs will be visible. Taking another grenade. He's a magnet for grenades at the moment. Hello and goodbye. Moose alone now in that Pop Dog position, and surely he was spotted by Cadian. Continues to rotate, but he does not have an angle on the bomb anymore, and he will get picked off like a scab.
You love scabs, don't you? You always bring them in.
I'm a scab picker. Well, I used to be. I haven't done it for a while. I'm a retired scab picker, but I was prolific in my time.
Well, could this be... Maybe I'm going to jinx it, but could it be the 16-0? We haven't seen one in ages. You almost never, ever, ever see them in CSGO. Due to the strength of pistols, due to... well, just... yeah, basically because of the pistols. That's mostly the reason I would say. How easy they are to buy. One more round for Rogue to have a clean CT half. The cleanest of halves.
Sparkling. Well polished half.
Scintillating. And there you go. Relics takes down Sick as they try to charge into this B bomb site. Cadian with a deep incendiary. That's going to be extinguished, actually, mostly by that smoke grenade that's been planted on the site. Ace has found a forward position. That's going to be strong. Picks off one. This could be the round indeed for United as it goes down to a 3v3 post plant. Still a good chance for them.
Dapper on the high ground. Looking for a flank, but there is no flank. All 3 players are here. No Molotov for the T's.
Oh, Relics is burning.
He is. He's melting. They need to get to water site. They can put some smokes down to cause problems, but the frags just continue. Dapper still on the high ground, moving into the low. He could catch these players rotating in. Oh, his teammates tell him the bomb is high. He adjusts, but the traces are there, and Hiko will stop them. He will deny them. He's a cruel god. 15-0 for Rogue.
Oh, man. One round, James, from the 16-0.
It's planted high.
One round from us. I have not seen one in so long. I don't even remember the last time.
15-0, Dan. It is not 16-0.
I know, but it's one round from 16-0. It's
one round from 15-1. Let's see what United can do. Maybe they were waiting for the CT side.
I'm just too savage. It's like in the Coliseum. Everyone like points the thumbs down. It's like take him out. Okay, So Rogue, oh, Dazzle starts it off pretty well for eUnited. What else do they have in store? Rogue looking to press on Ali with a couple players. The bomb's there as well. So Dapper will likely see that straight away. Rogue have to be cautious not to get picked off before they can close the distance with those Glocks and get onto a bomb plant. The USPs are very scary on train.
You have to wonder now, are they playing for the win or are they playing to just to win a round? Because mentally, where you at?
Well, you play for round by round.
Yeah, I think you have to ignore the score.
Yeah.
In that sense of like, let's not get 16-0. It's like, well, it's the same goal as let's just try and win until we actually lose. So.
Yep, indeed. Well, Cadian's in there. He's going to equalize things. Another nice headshot coming in from Cadian. He's walking all over the bomb train, asserting his presence. 3 versus 3. So Rogue have managed to find their way into pretty good positions, but still the man advantage now for eUnited as they go 3-2. Equalized bomb still yet to be in a position to be planted. Ace doing some damage, and that's the bomb sort of stuck around Ali now. This is a bit awkward. There's 30 seconds to plant that bomb. Assistance is coming. Ace realizes, but he doesn't know exactly where from. Easy kill for Cadian. That's number 3 for him. It's up to Dazzle now.
Yeah, he punished the reload. However, there are 20 seconds to get this bomb planted, so Dazzle knows they have to come to him. If the bomb is back in that position, surely there isn't time to run towards the bomb site, but they're taking that gamble. I don't think they can get there in time. I think this is crazy. I think they have to go for the elimination, but they're really not doing that. 6 seconds, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, and Arikid's got to commit to it. Dazzle might just... Oh! Oh, it's so tight! Oh, man. I think that was... I think... Yeah, I mean... I think they had to go for...
Connector into a...
I don't know, because they don't know he's going to be in connector, which makes it... we have the complete information, but I don't think they had time for that. I think they had to run to the site and try to plant back train. It was awkward wherever they went, and there it is. There's the round. I told you, Dan. It was 1 round away from 15-1.
You're a prophet. Yeah, that was super awkward. That was very, very awkward. Either way, it is... They got no bomb down, so we get the... Oh, they actually don't go for a like a full force save. We just see a few pistols. I like that. I think it's maximize amount of buy rounds you have and all that jazz. So the 16-0 has been denied, but it's a long way to deny the victory. It's a long way to that overtime. A long 14 rounds to overtime. That's quite the feats.
Just admiring the work on the wall above Pop, stapling the cables. Look at that. It's really tidy.
Good.
Got to respect that.
Yeah,
keep it out of the way. Health and safety, you know.
I had to learn cable management. It's a bit of a mess around my PC.
When I used to broadcast at DreamHacks, my desk was a complete mess. So they gave me my own room. It's fantastic, with walls and all sorts. They hid me away.
Nice. Right, getting a plant. That is mission accomplished.
Oh, maybe not. Ace is better at receiving grenades than he is at throwing them, it seems. Sick with a noble effort, and Moose, sorry, Ricky, will be looking for any damage he can find, which is not much.
They did well though. Two kills and a bomb plant that's always going to be a good situation, especially considering they didn't even invest fully. We didn't see Kevlars and so on and so forth. I mean, they could actually buy this round with the bomb plant. In fact, they can buy. If it wasn't 15-2, then
yes.
That's cool. I mean, there's lots of arguments for not buying here because it's 15. They only need 1 round, so you just give yourself the most great chances. You don't care about your opponent's economy, but in a more normal match where the score's closer, this is a fantastic spot to buy every time.
Yeah, I think if you can get the AKs out and an AWP on Cadian, then eUnited are not quite at full buy status just yet. Ace has a scout, although that will be enough if he takes a duo of Cadian. The FAMAS... There are edges to be had in this particular round, and again, if they fail, there are plenty of full buy rounds to come for Rogue. So this is a reasonable buy from them in the circumstances.
Yes, yes, indeed. Yes, Yao. Yao.
Okay.
Yeah, getting it warm again for next time I'm in Atlanta.
Ooh. How is that what you're going to be saying?
Probably not, no. It's too fraudulent, isn't it? It's too fraudulent. Okay. Still no pick here for Rogue. They've been trying to work it for a while, and it's getting to that point where just under a minute left, and you would want to try to gain some map control at this point. So we'll see them give up the attempt to go for picks and just start to position themselves to take a movement for the choke points with the use of utility to get the bomb planted, to get closer to that bomb train. eUnited have pretty passive positions, so with the smokes, it should be pretty easy for Rogue to get past the initial chokes.
One smoke towards connector, and Moose is out of position. Relics has been picked off, which means it's a 4 versus 1 on the A bomb site. That Dapper has to stay alive to stop a plant. There are 18 seconds for this bomb to go down. They're not close just yet. Ace at the back now at Old Bomb, but Sick is planting for Ivy, which Hiko's in control of. This could be the round. Trying to shoot the feet. You can shoot through what seems to look like a black panel under the train, but nothing doing on this occasion. And right now it's basically 2 versus 4 while Dazzle is above Pop. And you can see why I said that now. Very hard to move into that position. Ace alone, and he will not be enough on this occasion. 16-2 for Rogue. eUnited get absolutely deleted on their map pick.
Yeah, it was a great performance from Rogue. Initially, we see a lot of discipline, which is great. That's what we've seen all tournament long so far from them. Six started things off with a great AWP clutch that really sort of started to set the tone. And then we had Cadian playing out of his mind with the AWP as well, moving around the map, being very dynamic. They were never afraid to take fights, to push and plays off their instincts, but they also played a tight game with good team play. So pretty full package there of train from Rogue. I am impressed by that.
One non-map for eUnited. Overpass is to come after the break. We will see you back here soon.